This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports and Chaco. We're delighted to be joined once again by the Hammer, Padraig McCrory. 8 days out from your biggest fight of your career. We're laughing and joking away here. You're probably so relaxed. I guess you're just about to have your final spar today of camp. But I guess you just can't wait to get back into the ring next week.
Yeah, I think everything's sort of just laid to here, and I think next week is it's happening. By fate, I believe things happen for a reason, and this fight's happening for a reason.
15th pro fight, and obviously fighting for the ABO belt at light heavyweight. Obviously, I know we spoke a few weeks ago when the sort of announcement and stuff came. Are you still sort of having to pinch yourself that sort of these opportunities will come, or is it, I guess in some ways the opportunities you deserve, because obviously you're in a 2-year knockout streak. You keep obviously passing every test you've been given, so I guess it's probably opportunity that you've earned that sort of got you this opportunity.
Yeah, once I was offered the fight, I wasn't surprised. It was I didn't feel like I was lucky to get that. As I say, I've been getting tests and getting stepped up, and I've been dealing with it fairly well. Last time out, I was a big part of the Conlan show, and I just seen like with the crowd and the reactions, things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I feel like I deserve this opportunity.
You've obviously had quite a lot of sparring. I would say you probably had more sparring recently, and is this probably one of the reasons why you're sort of performing so well and your sort of confidence coming on, because you're getting a lot of sparring, really, really good sparring, and obviously lead up to fights now. Probably you're sparring more than you've ever done.
Yeah, this camp sparring was something that we focused on. We done a bit of travelling over to England. We done some rounds with Brett McGinty and Tony Brown, Big Flad, Kevin Conlan. So it's been a good mixture of sparring. I've got plenty of rounds, and I've tested myself with some of the best sort of like pros about the Irish scene. So yeah, we're ready for this fight.
Over the last month, obviously, and I think the last time we spoke with obviously no ABO champions, we've now 2. I was sort of speaking to Jamie yesterday as well. It seems to be a resurgence in the over 30s club in Irish boxing. You'd obviously Ando Kakachi obviously land the ABO super featherweight belt, Eric Donovan landing the EU belt, Dennis Hogan and Dara Foley last week, and obviously you next week. What is it about the over 30s that just keep producing for Irish boxing?
Well, I wouldn't know because I'm only 24, but no. Listen, over 30s are probably leading the way. There's a lot of fighters. I think if you look in the top 10 pound for pound list, there's quite a few of them that are over 30. Big Tommy, myself, Tyrone, Donegan. The number 1 is Dennis Hogan. Mixed 30 as well, is he?
I'm mixed 30, 31.
Do you know what I mean? So over 30s are leading the way, leading by example. And I just think it's a thing that Irish boxing is becoming. As the years go on, because of us, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think we're leading the way for the younger generation, who looks very promising as well.
You sort of look at football sometimes, it's sort of, they say about 28, 29 sort of seems when people start to get to their peak.
Yeah.
I guess with boxing, I guess the more experience and obviously the more years you have, you're only going to get better, I guess, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks, isn't that what they say?
Well, I don't know, I've been proving that different. But I think with the knowledge that people have now as well through S&C and science and nutrition, people are being able to fight for longer and fight at a better level. So I apply myself to the best of my ability, and I know all the other lads do the same thing, and they treat their body well. So I think that's a massive part of the reason.
I believe the travelling, obviously Army now is over 200. Jamie was saying yesterday is over 200 now coming to Germany. I guess that means a lot for you. I guess, you look back, obviously your debut at the SSE, obviously having to go through the small hall sort of circuit and come up. It's obviously quite an honour for you, I guess, to take over 200 people to Germany.
Massive. It's so obviously I'm bringing 110 plus, and then Kirk and Kieran. But yes, even for that amount of people to come 6 weeks from Christmas or 7 weeks from Christmas, in the middle of sort of a crisis, which I've said before, it's very humbling, slightly emotional, but it makes me very, very proud.
Obviously, I say 8 days out. I guess it's it's a silly question sometimes you ask, but obviously hearing them words and the new next week, how much would obviously that is that just sort of a dream come true moment? Jamie sort of mentioned yesterday that this isn't the end goal and the beat and the end goal sort of so to speak. So there's plenty more to come, but obviously achieving obviously success at light heavyweight, it's not your weight division, but obviously to hear and the new and you're the IBO light heavyweight champion. How much will that mean to you?
Well, it's a vacant belt, so hopefully it's on the new Padraig McCrory, and not thinking that they're about. But yes, it's a massive fight for me. It'll be very, very special. And the travelling fans and myself will enjoy it if that happens. It's been a long road. I'm only pro 4.5 years, but I've had a few ups and downs.
I think it's actually 5.5 years.
5.5 years, okay, here you are.
You're trying to take years off. You're still trying to make yourself look 24.
5.5 years, and in that time I've had 3 kids. I've got married. I'm still working. I still work nearly full time. So it's been a difficult road, but I've had the support of my wife, my family, my friends, and my sponsors, which have got me like to this point now. So it's great.
Does this obviously get you a step closer as well to obviously paying off the house? You know, it was always your dream to be able to pay off your house and sort of put yourself sort of financially secure, but obviously a win next week as well, maybe potentially get you into, you know, the last couple of years of your pro career as a full-time athlete as well.
Yeah. My first ever interview 5.5 years ago, I said that my aim, if I leave boxing with or being mortgage free, that would feel like I beat boxing or I won. So yes, if I win this fight, there's a few things in place, that will lead me towards achieving them goals and much more.
Your opponent, obviously Bunn, obviously I know when we last spoke, didn't actually realise he was training with Ben Davison obviously before. He's obviously not now. Have you watched much of Leon, or I guess you probably know the task at hand? Obviously going into enemy territory in Germany, you're probably having to sort of do an extra 10 or 20% more, because I guess home crowd, home support, there's going to be 200 Irish fans there, but have you done much studying, or do you sort of leave that sort of down to day? I guess you sort of looked for things yourself within the fight.
Yeah, I'm a boxing fan, and I think I know boxing styles as well, so I do watch a bit, but I leave like the tactics down to D, and then we discuss it as well. I've seen him. I think he's from Arthur Abraham's gym. He fights fairly similar to him. High guard, sort of typical German style. It's a notoriously hard place to go to get a win. There's very few that do it. But when we took this fight, I took it knowing that I have a very good chance of winning. I just hope I go there, and I put on my best performance, and a performance that I'm very capable of.
For Leon Bunn, I guess, obviously, and he looks at your sort of last couple of years of fighting, there's not a lot to see, obviously, other than stoppages. Since you obviously linked up with D, there's a lot been added to the game, which hopefully may not need to even produce again next week. You know, it's over 2 years since obviously you've heard a final bell in a fight. It's obviously the ultimate goal to go there and, I guess, you know, win inside the distance probably more than anything.
Well, who doesn't like to win by stoppage? Everybody does. But I said every fight, the main thing is to get the win. Like, if I leave there like with a win, that's the most important thing. I watched an interview like we did yesterday. Jamie was up watching me spar, and I done 12 rounds, and he said it's the best I've been, and I know that I have more levels to that as well. So I'm 34, but I feel in the best physical condition that I've ever been. I still feel like I'm getting better, and as I say, I just hope that on the night it shows.
Obviously, when I leave it final, obviously the fans travelling over, I'm sure, obviously, as I say, with 5-6 weeks out from Christmas, it's going to mean a lot. But I'm sure you obviously want to pass a special message on to those that are putting the hard-earned money in to come and watching you fight. Yeah,
they keep coming from day one, like from the SSC right through the now. I think nearly every show I've been on, I've been the best ticket seller. So very humbling, very grateful, and I hopefully we're all enjoying a nice pint after and celebrating.
Definitely, as I say, I very much echo that. I know, obviously, I know potentially, obviously, who the fight's obviously going to be streamed with next week, but for obviously anybody that's obviously interested, either today or tomorrow, obviously an Irish broadcast is going to be announced.
Yeah, we're expecting a broadcaster to be announced today, maybe. Today. It's going to be very easily watched. It's going to be free, but I'm going to leave it up to them and they announce that. But you won't have to look far, and I'm very excited about that as well. It's going to get viewed by a lot of people, and I want to put on a show for them as well.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time. Obviously, in 8 days' time, and the new Padraig McCrory. Just had to make sure I put the Padraig McCrory on at the end there. But thanks very much for your time, and we wish you all the very best of luck in Germany.
Thank you very much. Cheers.